Hi everyone, today I will play against the 7 new chessbots, Lee, Troy, Anthony, Isla, Sloan, Ezra and Martin. My goal is to beat the first 5 chessbots and then I will play just one game against the 2 last bots. So we will start with Lee. I wonder where it will go. I play as random. Okay, the first thing that he does is to put his knight on the H rank. We shouldn't do that, so it's not a really good move. If you want to, you can read the message. He advances the pawn, maybe to fianchetto. Okay, he attacks. I will take back with the pawn. He takes back with the knight. I attack the knight. Okay, I take the knight. I think it's a free piece. Oh, he doesn't take. I will take the bishop gladly. He puts his queen on. He takes my bishop. I develop the knight to try to activate my pieces and then my castle to put pressure on the king. He advances the pawn, I take back, it will open maybe the white king. I advance the knight. I don't think that it's the best move. I think that I can attack the queen like this and threaten a fork. He saw it. I'll attack the queen again if oh, he sees it. So I think that I'll protect my pawn like this. Oh, he moves the king. I'll try to activate my queen by putting it to d6. Okay, it's a free queen. I think we won this game. Gah. And queen e2 is checkmate. So it was quite easy. I made 2 mistakes and 3 blunders. And I will show you why it was a free knight at the start, if some of you are confused. On the 5th move, because if he takes my bishop, I will checkmate on h4 with the queen, so I hoped that he would take. I will do the second chessbot. Okay, so now we are gonna playing Troy. I think it will still be easy, and I've already beaten these bots because I already made the footage, but my voice glitched, so I have to do it again. So I will play Troy. Normal. Okay, so you can still. My second audio crashed again. So now I'm recording on my phone and I will cover the games that I played against the bot. So to start, I played with Troy. He played knight f3, I play d5. He pushes the pawn, I develop my bishop. It's easy normally. He develops also his bishop with check. I block because if we put the knight, I don't think that it's better. He put his bishop on d3. I took it because I wanted to double his pawns, and he doubled them. Then I played e6. It was a great move, I think. He played h3, I played knight f6. So for now, it's normal. I don't think I'm winning. He plays a4. But now he plays rook a3, and it surprises me, and I take the bishop. So he takes back, and I have an advantage. So I'm winning. I develop my knights. I don't want to push yet, but I will castle. He moves his queen to c2. I want to do the same, but I will move it to e7. Okay, so now he puts his king on h2. I put my queen on d6 to check it. So now he has to move the king, and I think that we are winning. I play knight e5. He plays d4, and I take the knight, and he takes back. So now I want to play knight h5, maybe to do a little checkmate with the queen and the knight, but it's hard. And it was also to play f5. Here I said that the queen could maybe checkmate us here, but it's not really a problem. And now I will just advance the pawn and try to win. Now I take the pawn, and I think that he takes with the bishop, because if not, I will check with the queen on g3, and it will be really hard for the bot. Now I want to double my rook by playing rook f7. I completed the doubling, and now he plays f4, long that prolongs, so I'm gonna skip the part. Okay, so here I found a really cool tactic. It's a mate in 3, and we start by taking the pawn and sacrificing our rook, because now the bishop takes, we take back with our rook, and now checkmate is normally unstoppable, and I won the first game. So now we are playing against Anthony Gen Y. You can still read the messages. I started with e4, a classical move. He responded to e5. I like to put my bishop on c4 before playing knight to f3, but I do it anyway. He puts his knight on h6, so I take the pawn. It's a free pawn, I think, but he played this move, and queen g5 is really hard to defend. So I don't know if it's a trap, this move, but I really got stumped. So if we play knight f3, we can't. The queen will just take our pawn on g3. If we try to defend our pawn with queen f3, our knight will be lost. And if we try to play d4, the queen still can just take on g2, and we have a big problem. I still played knight f3. We lose a pawn, but it's not bad. And now I realized that there is a checkmate incoming with a queen takes f2 checkmate. So now I have to find a plan that protects the rook and doesn't kill me with checkmate. So that's why in this position, after thinking a bit, I played king e2, because now if the queen takes, I can maybe escape. Okay, so now they take my pawn, I move my king to d3. And then they played knight a6. So it was maybe to check me on b4. So I played a3. And if I played knight c3, maybe to develop and protect some some place, I would get smothered mate by the knight with knight before. So I really played a3 to protect me. So now he puts his bishop back on e7. It gives me a little time, I think. So I played rook to g1 because I wanted to attack the pawn. But I didn't see the knight check. And I lost another pawn because now I have to go to c3 and they take my pawn on e4. I thought that I didn't see that the pawn was hanging, so I lost it. But I played king b3 and it put my king in a sort of safety. So my king isn't really a problem now. And I can maybe attack. But I'm still 2 pawns down, so I will take the pawn on g7, I think. Okay, and now they play rook to e8, and now we gain a second pawn and we're equal. And we are attacking the knight. Our position is getting better. He checks, but we just go to a2 and now our king is also safe. So I don't know how we made it, but we are winning. Maybe, I don't know, because now they played knight e6 and they lost a knight because now we can take the knight on e6 and then take the knight on h6, and now we are up a knight. That is really good. So now that our king is safe, that we have one piece more, we have to trade and also develop our pieces. So that's why I played knight to c3. They responded to with bishop d7. It doesn't kill me, so I played d3 to develop my bishop. Maybe they played a4, and then I played knight e4. I'm not really concerned by the pawn, even if it restricts my king movement, maybe. But I think that I want to win maybe some material on maybe f6 with knight f6, but it's a little later. So now I decided to play knight e5. I think that it's a decent move. It maybe wins the pawn. So that's what I did, and they played f5. So I played knight f6 to fork a little the bishop and the rook, but I take the other bishop of white with playing knight to d7. They put their queen back to d5 with check. So that's why I didn't move the knight. They took the knight. And now I wanted maybe to develop. But I was not sure between the queen and the bishop. And I decided finally to move the queen. When it was done, they played rook to d7, and I checked on f7. They play king to c8, and now I think that we are winning. That's why I decided to develop my bishop to f4 and try to maybe checkmate with the queen. But I know that bots are really annoying, so they will defend. And they defended with e5, a really complex move. So I thought that if I took the pawn, they will take back with the queen or the rook. Maybe I can take the queen, but I am not sure yet. So I played bishop g5, and they play f4. So now we have still a problem. They have one passed pawn. So what do we do? Me, in my mind, I decided to trade the queens. So he took my queen on d5, and now I can play king a2 to put my other rook in action. He played king d8, I played rook e1. They play rook to g8, maybe to attack my bishop. But I have a really cool move, and it is rook to g6. And it's a check with the bishop. And now I attack also the rook. So now I am winning his rook. And now there is absolutely no way that I lose. I think that it's a foreshadowing. And the problem is that I pre-moved some moves, and at one time he played at the worst time f2, and he queened. So it's really hard for me. I thought I was winning, but we still have to fight in this game. I'm really dumb, I think. But now I take the pawn on a4. I think that it's a way for us to try to win, because they have less pieces. They play queen to a1 check, and I hesitated between some moves, uh, but I saw that king b3 was the best one. And now he played queen a7, and it's the best move because I got a second discovered check with rook e6. I took the queen, and now I am again winning, and this time I am taking my time. I don't want to lose to a pre-move again. So that's why I wait. And now they will stop the pawn on h6. But I have another pawn on b4, so I push it. I wait for him to make a move. I still push. I pre-moved, sadly, again. Why did I pre-move? And he advanced the pawn, and I took it. So now I am 100% winning. And I am not getting a stalemate. I am winning. And yes, maybe if I played queen to c7, it would be a stalemate, but I saw it. So I decided to push the pawn and queen. So I've definitely won. They have they have moves, and I played queen c8 checkmate, and we beat the second bot. This one was hard. So now we're playing against Isla. She plays f5, f4 for the first move. Gen Z, apparently she is. So I played e5, my move that I prefer. She plays knight c3. I play knight c6. She plays d4. I take the pawn. She plays knight d5, and I want to trade the knight because it is a little annoying. So she doesn't take the knight. It's a little weird for me. So I take it. She takes back, and I saw that I could pin the queen, and I won really rapidly. So I took the queen, I took the pawn, and during the game, she even played e4, and I could en passant her. So that's so cool for me, and I'm glad that she was really easier than the other bot just before. So we play some moves. I am trying to get the checkmate, and at this point I played rook to e5 to try to checkmate on h4, on h5, so they sacrificed their bishop, because if we played the check, they would block. And now they attack my queen, but I don't really need the queen. I can I can take the two rooks for my queen, and I think that we won this game. I will show you the checkmate. It is to play any move here, but I decided to play a4, and now the king had to move to h2, and I took the pawn with checkmate. She says touch grass, but I beat her in one attempt. So no, I don't touch grass. No, so yes, I touch grass. So now we are playing against Sloane, 1775. So she played e4, I played e5. She played knight c3, I played knight e6. She played g3, maybe to fianchetto her bishop. And I played bishop c5. I just want to try maybe to win. And now she puts her queen on g4. I thought that it was a bad position where the bishop was on c4 and the pawn on g3 was on g2. And I get every time crushed in this position. And normally they play knight d5. But we're not in this position, and I can play queen f6 to try maybe a checkmate, and I protect my pawn. So now she wants a queen trade. I'm really bad with queens, so I take it, she takes back. I advance the pawn to try to take it. But now the white knight wants to fork us. So I don't have the time to do this, and I protect my pawn. I thought that she took back, but no, she played bishop d3 to protect the pawn. So now I played knight e7 to trade the knights. She took my knight, I took back, and I want really to take this pawn, but she defends it again. These pawns are really annoying, I think. But here I played bishop d7, trying to trap the rook. But I realized that she can play f3 and the rook is not really trapped. So here I decided to go for a different move, and it is g6. I just want to trade the pawns, and she played a5. So I have to move the bishop. I played bishop c5, and now she played a6, a very interesting move. So now I wanted maybe to trap the rook, even if it's not possible. So I played bishop c6. He took the pawn on b7. It's a really interesting position, and the best move, I think that it was b7. Bishop takes b7, and now I see that I can win a pawn by taking the knight. Her rook takes back, and I take the pawn. So I'm up a pawn, and I thought that I wouldn't win against her. So it's really interesting. She attacks my bishop, and I decide to move it back because now that I'm up a pawn, I just will trade and win maybe a pawn endgame, a rook and pawn endgame, maybe just a bishop endgame. I hesitated with e4, but I saw that the pawn could be really weak, so I really decided to play bishop c6. Now she plays f6. I don't want to play knight g8 because after she will play g5. So that's why I want to play knight to d5. Now I attack the pawn, and my knight isn't trapped. So she puts her bishop on e4, maybe to pin my knight. I saw that it was a little bad, but I saw a move that was good. It was threatening a fork and protecting my bishop, and it was knight b4, and it even attacked the bishop. So I don't know why, but I took the bishop instead of going with the fork, and she played rook to a6 to attack my knight. If I played king d7, I think that she would play rook to c3. So I decide to move my knight to b4. So now the rook has to move, and he moved to a5. So now a really easy move to see is to take the pawn. So, and after I could go to d4. So I took, she moved the king, and that's what happened in the game. I got my knight here. So now she pushed the pawn on the g file, and I wanted maybe to attack the pawn, because now it's really hard to advance. So I wanted to play h6. Now my rook will be open, and it will do really a lot of damage to the position. So he played rook to h3. My only move was to play h5, sadly, and he doubled his rook on the A rank to try to take my pawn. In this position, I thought a little and saw that I could maybe protect it with knight c6, but we have to attack another pawn, and that's why I played knight to e5. He took the pawn, I took the rook, he took the pawn again, and now I played king d7. He protected his pawn with d4, and after some moves I am still up a pawn, so I am really winning, and I decide to play rook b4. Although I was a little worried for the white rook to come in a8, but it was not a real worry, so I played it naturally. Now he played rook to a7, I played rook to h4. He attacked my knight, so I moved it, and I don't know why didn't I take before, because it was with check, but it's not really the worst move possible. So I just move my knight to b3, and she puts her bishop on e3. So I took the b pawn because it was a little annoying, and then I checked after he moved the king, and I wanted a trade, and I got it. And now we are in a rook and pawn endgame up 2 pawns, and we are in a really crushing position. And now we can take the pawn on g5, and we can feast on the other pawns. She gives us another pawn, and now we are really winning, and I don't know how I won this game. So now I'll skip the last part because it's a little long. So at this point, my opponent, Sloane, sacrificed her rook, and I won with taking the queen. I didn't want to stalemate. She really wanted to stalemate. She didn't take the queen. But after she played king to g5, I played queen to g3 check, and I don't know what I did. I didn't find a real good checkmate, so I tried to move the queen to a good square, but I decided to promote the other pawn because it was easier. So after the pawn that was promoted, he played king g6. I got my queen to f4, and I thought it was mate in one, but she moved her king to h6, but it was just a mate in two after, and I beat her, and I am really surprised, and I am so glad that I beat her. So now we are going against the other two bots. The goal is just to last the longest possible. So now I am going against Ezra, Gen Alpha, and he starts his game with the famous e4. I play e5. Um, 20 hours a day is really bad. If you have a kid, don't put your kid on the iPad 20 hours a day. He develops his knight, I develop mine. He plays bishop c4, I play bishop c5. And now he plays a weird move. Before I take the pawn, it's a free pawn for me, but he plays c3, and I don't see the things. The kid talks about a skibby toilet. What is Beast Core? What is a Mr. Beast Core? I don't know. Now he castles and he plays d4. I take back. It's normal, and he takes also. He's still a kid. He sees patrol. Why? So I move my bishop to b6. He plays e5. And now I have to move my knight, but there is not really a good spot to put it. So that's why I put it to g8. I had to undevelop it. And now he plays a4. I play a5 to block what he's trying to do. He plays f4, bishop f4. And now I want to activate my queen to last a little longer, but he advances the pawn, and now I think that we are a little lost because we don't have much space, even if we are a pawn up. Here I played knight to d7. He played knight to d2. And the jokes with Five Nights at Freddy's, it's good, but why chess.com? I played d6. He took my pawn. I took his, and now he pinned my queen. I saw it 1 second just before he played it, but I have to sacrifice a piece to last a little longer. So now he advances the knight. He doesn't even take my bishop. Why? These bots are weird for me. And now he takes my pawn, and now it's checkmate in a few moves for him. He can take my bishop. He took it, and I develop my knight, but he takes a pawn, I think. And now any move I do is really bad. I'm in a really bad position. I maybe try to checkmate or do something like this, but he advances the pawn and queens, and I lose. It's normal. And he says that he was born in 2017. Why does this kid trash talk? Why? And now we have Martin, the Gen Martin. He's just a bot. And I think that he's really hard to beat. He plays knight f3. I play d5. He plays g3. I play knight c6, and he advances his d pawn, and I develop my bishop. He puts his bishop in fianchetto. I hope that he doesn't trash talk me. I put my queen on d7 to maybe try to trade the bishops on h3. But I don't do it on the first move. I play knight f6 instead. He plays knight c3. I castle, and he moves his bishop. I try to take his bishop. I try to trade, and now my queen is in an advantageous position. He attacks my queen because I think it's the best move. and I try to see which square I move to, and the best square for me is h5. I don't know if there was a better square. I thought of playing knight g4, but it loses the queen. And now he played e3. And now I'm not sure what to play. So I took the queen. He takes back. Now we have maybe a fork that he can do. So that's why I put my rook on d7. Uh, so now he doesn't win material with this. He wins a pawn, yes, but not a lot of material. He moves his knight to e5. I take it. He takes my knight with the pawn, and now I move it to a square, but I don't know which square to move it. So that's why I put it to e4. It's a random square. He pushes the pawn. My rook has only one move to go. And I play rook d8. He takes my knight, I take his, and now he takes my rook, and also I take his rook. And now he checks me, and I hesitate, but I play king c8. And now he plays h4 to try to destabilize me on the rank. And now I see that my pawn can't be defended. So I'm lost in some moves. I will die. So that's why I try maybe to take the pawn, but he checks me. I play king to d8, but it's a mate in 3 after rook b7. Because now the only move that I can play to delay the checkmate is bishop e5. He takes back, and now every move that I play is met by rook b8 checkmate. So I did my challenge. I was really glad that I won my challenge. And if you liked this type of content, you please subscribe. It took me hours to make this video, and thank you for watching until the end.